Jace Tunnel here. Today we're getting to go out on a boat for beachcombing. We're going out with the Harte Research Institute, their Sportfish Center. They're actually going out and sampling and looking at flounder. And so this is flounder season right now, starting in mid-October, going into kind of peak November season. You start getting where flounder are accumulating in the passes. And so Parks and Wildlife has, the size limits you can have, just like they have with other game fish, and a season where it's closed. And so the Harte Research Institute is actually going out, doing their own sampling, confirming that those are the good dates to be able to help provide information for Parks and Wildlife to be able to help protect the species. So at nighttime is whenever they go out and sample. So let's ride along.
My name is Isabel Cummings and I am a master's student at Texas A&M University here in Corpus Christi. And essentially what my master's project is looking at is two main things. One being the timing of the southern flounder migration in local Texas bays, and two being the age and growth as well as age and length composition of southern flounder in these bays as well. So right now I'm trying to get a measurement of the visibility that we had along this transect line. So essentially if it's 17 feet, it's 17 feet of visibility that we can later use with the count of flounder we saw to calculate the density of flounder we saw on this transect tonight. Yeah, so we just tagged the flounder, we just gotten it off of our transect. So we ran it a zip tie through its mouth, through the operculum, which is the covering over the gills, in through its mouth, and that tag basically has its call number on it, and our call number is what we're going to use to identify it later when we finish processing it and getting the otoliths out, so we know it's basically like a name for a flounder, so we'll know in the future which flounder was which. So I'm just dropping this disc into the water as far down until it disappears, and then I'll read the measurement on the line. It's about there, so that's about a Secchi depth of 70. And essentially, this is looking at water transparency for this transect in particular, and it's basically giving us a value we can then compare to our other transects to see how the water transparency compares from one place to another.
Okay, so last night was a very late night. We ended up getting back after midnight, and so there was 9 transects looking for flounder the entire way. So now that we're back, we're done with the sampling, we're going to go into the Harte Research here, go into the laboratory and see what they do with the fish from here.
Call number is 5922 and transect is PA2. Yes. So then the next thing we'll try to get off of this flounder is a fin clip so we can use it for later analyses. And then from either the front of the fish or the back of the fish, we'll get a muscle plug. We can use these to look at the muscle tissue components of the fish, look at hormone levels. I believe you can do isotope analyses on these. And it can also be a reflection of the health of a fish. So the idea is that we have the season closure in November, and the November season closure is supposed to give them a better opportunity to be able to successfully move offshore to spawn, because when they leave, they congregate in ship channels and inlets on their way offshore, and that makes them extremely vulnerable to fishing pressures. So that's why Texas Parks has its November season closure. But potentially these fish migrate a lot earlier than that, so we're trying to see how the timing of the closure matches up with the timing of the migration in our areas, because it can change a lot from even just Matagorda to Packery is kind of what we're seeing. And then also just overall fisheries health, that's important information to inform Texas Parks of when they're making future management decisions, because if the health of the fishery is declining, then maybe they need to adjust what they're doing, or maybe the fishery is more successful than they think it is. So that's why it's important we're doing all of these studies.
Okay, so hopefully you enjoyed this episode of Beachcombing. Let us know if you'd like to be able to see more of these types of videos where we talk about research at the Harte Research Institute, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.